You so much. My name's Mike from Job Ready English. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. If you can see me or hear me, say hello in the chat, send me a little wave. So today's presentation, I'm gonna really try and give you as much value as you can around networking, try and deliver you some new ideas, some new ways of thinking. Also, if you can, just send some questions, interact with the session. Really think about, because otherwise, I don't know about you guys, if I had to sit there for 45 minutes and listen to some guy, I'd get really bored. So, if you have something to say, yes, I could do that, or yeah, that would be great, or I'm going to think about something that I could do right now, please do that. So let's jump in, no further ado. So very quickly, who is this handsome man? So since 2013, I have helped international students in the UK find jobs at a wide variety of blue chip companies. I've spoken to over 25,000 students and worked with over 500 clients one-to-one. Enough about me. So let's talk about the agenda. What are we going to do today? So first of all, what is networking? I always find it's super helpful to define a term. Sometimes I'll be sitting there and someone will say, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? And I think, I don't even know what this is. Can you please explain it to me slowly? Then we're going to talk about three don'ts, and we're going to spend the majority of the session, and please guys, stay until the end so you can engage with the Q&A. I will stay here for as long as I need to answer all of your questions. There's going to be loads of really useful ideas, and you might be thinking, oh, that's a cool idea, but how would I do that, or how does that apply to me? So please stay until the end. You can ask me any question that you like. So we're going to talk about a strategy for 2020, what we're going to do, and then I'm going to leave you with three cool free tools that you can use today, right now, because what I want you to think about is this isn't something for you to just listen and go, yeah, that was great, Mike, thanks so much, and then go about your day. 90% of what you hear today, you're going to forget. If you want to remember, then you need to put it into action. So right now, as soon as you get off the call, you're like, great, I know what I'm going to do right now from that stuff that Mike talked about. And at the end, we'll do Q&A. Ask me anything you like, any questions, CVs, applications. Why is the sun yellow? Doesn't matter. By the way, last question, I don't know the answer. So, first of all, what is networking? So, what do we really mean? So we know that networking is like you go into a room, you say, like, hi, my name's Mike. What's your name? Da, 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 right? Actually, networking is all about getting attention. It's basically saying to somebody, please know me, because you want information so that you can form connections. Connections are, us establishing a relationship with other people. And ultimately, the end goal of this connection is to generate opportunities. So that could be work, freelance work, business opportunities, jobs, whatever it is that you're looking for. That's what we're looking to do. Yeah. So it's really important to bear in mind, if we're networking with employers, with business owners, with fashion icons, of influencers, we really need to start at step one, which is what do they want? Now, I don't know if you know this, but apparently there's a big pandemic happening. So right now, what do these employers want? Well, they want three things. They want sales. They need to generate money. Yeah. So they need to sell their product or service to a market. The next thing is they need ideas. So being young and super talented, fashion and fashion related, graphic design, art, just that representation of all things awesome, you can generate really good ideas because you represent their target market. And the last thing that they want is attention, because that's something that we all want. We want people to pay attention to us in order to influence them so they can give us things that we need. Yeah. So these are the three things to bear in mind, because we need to start with the people who we will network with and what they want. And then we can kind of reverse engineer that process to think about, well, what do I need to do in order to get that person to pay attention to me and to what I want? So we're going to start off with the three don'ts. The first don't is don't be shy. So a lot of you are fantastically talented. You've generated a lot of content, a lot of visual content, a lot of ideas, a lot of things that you're like, oh, maybe it's not good enough, or yeah, but maybe I'll do it next week. what we're going to go on, and we're actually going to talk about this in our 2020 strategy, is we're going to say, look, you know, show the world what you're all about. Tell people what you're doing. You really want to be showing off what you're doing. Don't sit there and wait for people to come to you. If there was ever a time to be loud, when there are so many voices, that time is now. That's why networking is so important, because essentially I'm much more likely to focus on the person who I'm giving attention to than somebody who has no attention. Don't fall in love with your ideas. Now, all of you, I'm sure, will use these fantastic and wonderful creations that you absolutely love. Look, I'm a creator. I know that when I generate content, when I produce something, I want people to say, Mike, that's fantastic, that's amazing, that's the best thing I've ever seen. But the truth is, not everybody loves my ideas. Not everybody's going to love your ideas. The difference is, can we be reflective of that? Can we kind of think, okay, so I love this idea, the market doesn't love my idea. By the way, how do you know if the market loves idea? Well, it's based upon the attention that you receive. Yeah. So, you know, like when you make a comment or you put a Facebook post or you put up a TikTok video and no one likes it, and you're like, bro, like, why does nobody care? And then you get all this attention, like, oh, everybody loves me. So it's about, have I fallen in love with my idea, rather than thinking about what is the idea that these other people want, that these companies want? Because remember, they want sales, they want ideas, and they want attention. Yeah, we need to keep thinking about that as we work through this process of thinking about how to successfully network. Lastly, don't take without giving. This is super important. Now, all of you want a job. I completely understand that. And I've had this conversation with thousands of international students. I say, what do you want? I say, I want a job. I go, okay, cool. Well, that's pretty much the same as every other student I speak to. What are you willing to give? And when I ask that question, they become a little bit confused. They're like, what do you mean? What am I willing to give? Now, I'm going to pose you a question. Say we just met right now in this webinar, and then I send you a message and I'm like, hi, Tahina, so good to meet you. Can I borrow £10? You're unlikely to give me the money. I mean, you might do if you're super kind, but the chances are the second time Tahina sees me, she's going to think, oh my God, that's the guy who just wants to borrow money from me. That's the person who wants stuff from me. And bearing in mind, the people that you're trying to speak to, they're busy people. They've got lots of pulls on their attention. So if you're just another person asking one more thing, then they're going to think, well, why do I want to do that? You're just another person who wants to take from me. So what does that mean? It gives us a poor strategy. So a poor networking strategy is just lots of different ways of saying, I want a job. Hi, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm good. Do you have a job? Can I have a job? I want a job. Because of course, that's where your attention is. That's where your focus is. So you're constantly thinking about, in networking, you're thinking about, how can I find people who will give me a job? And what I want to tell you today is we go through the 2020 strategy, and we're going to break this down into 4 parts, and I'm going to give you actionable ideas. This is stuff that you can start doing today, straight away, during this webinar and after this webinar. So I want you to, you know, keep going, keep watching, keep listening, and thinking about a different strategy. So the 2020 strategy is actually completely different. And this is 4 steps. First of all, I want you to think about going public, connecting, chatting, and then helping. So I realize within that, you're probably thinking, yeah, where's the part where I get a job? Well, what you'll find is, if you follow these 4 steps, people are much more likely to give you what you want. Why? Because you're understanding your audience, that they want sales, ideas, and attention, and you're giving them what they want. Because ultimately, they're the people who have what you want. They're the people who hold the power. They are the gatekeepers for those jobs. So let's jump into this. So first of all, going public, I want to ask you guys all a quick question. I'm just wondering, feel free to post a message up in the chat, maybe throw out the link. I'm wondering, out of all of you guys here, how many of you have got an online portfolio? How many of you could send me a link, send it through the chat if you want to, so I could go and look at your work right now? because that's really important. If I can't see your portfolio, because a CV is not an adequate representation of all the wonderful work that you've done, all of these visual ideas that you've represented. So going public means putting your work on show, which I realize if you're an artist, you're a creator, you might be a bit shy, you might feel like, oh, but what if people don't like it? The truth is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Adadura, thank you. Well done. Anybody else? Anybody else have a digital? Throw it up there. Throw it up there for your friends. Don't be shy. Yeah. How many of you have got Instagram? How many have got Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat? Why am I saying all this stuff? Facebook. Facebook for the golden oldies out there, right? There was a time when Facebook's cool. Apparently it's not cool anymore. But the reason why I'm saying this, how can you get my attention if you're not public? You use a visual medium. Why aren't you posting pictures of your work on Instagram? If you're working on a cool piece of textile or you're designing a new piece of clothing, why don't you document that process? Because that's super interesting. I would want to watch that because I don't know anything about that. Why aren't you, you could be following people on Twitter who are influencers, we're going to talk about next. You could be putting that stuff up on LinkedIn. Imagine if you connected to Nike, you can tag Nike. So let me just make this really clear. Attention and distribution of content is free. You don't have to pay. The only thing you have to pay is your time. The more content you generate, the more likely that you're going to generate attention for your ideas, for the things that are important. Imagine you could tag Nike, tag Burberry, tag Alexander McQueen and say, hey, saw this, thought of you. Hey, this is a good idea. There are so many things that you can do. It's so versatile. And so I really want you to think about, how am I going public? How am I showing the world what I am all about, what my awesome idea is? The next thing I want you to think about is connection. So obviously right now, during lockdown, we can't all meet up and do one-to-one networking. Many of you might be thinking, but I can't do public networking, Mike. I can't go to a group. I can't go to a meetup. What am I meant to do? Well, actually, Paige, thanks so much for your question. I don't think that it matters. I think do both. Do online portfolio, do Instagram. You can use something like Hootsuite. You can, which is a free tool. You can basically serve up content across multiple platforms to generate multiple amounts of attention. So talking more about connection, where are these people that we want to network with? So this is a super important question, okay? So I want to network with these people who've got jobs. So you're like, I want a job, I want a job, I want a job. I need to find the people who have jobs. Now we know that, applying to 100 jobs on Indeed, no good. Yeah, applying to all these different jobs, you need to think about, is my current strategy working? If it's not, which is maybe while you're here, let's try something new. Let's try something different. For example, if you went right now to Eventbrite, you typed in fashion, you could find 5 events, 5 global events you could attend for free that will contain fashion influencers, fashion powerhouses, fashion designers. These people are all facing the same problems that we have. You can connect with them on social media. You could tweet people directly. I mean, I could go and I could tweet Alexander McQueen fashion directly right now. I could tweet Louis Vuitton right now. I don't have to pay anybody to do that. They may not reply, but what if I tweeted them 10 times, 100 times? What if I sent you 10 pieces of work that I've done recently, which has been inspired by Calvin Klein? What if I said to you, oh, that's a great question. So a well-made process on LinkedIn. I think what I want you to think about, Ja, is just document that process. So I want you to let go of those chains. They're like, oh my God, I'm a creator. What if they don't love my work? We're tortured artists, right? We're like, oh my God, what if I put this out and they don't like this? Who cares? Because we're not fussed about the people who don't like the awesome stuff that we're creating. We're trying to cut through all of the noise and find the people who love our stuff. And I guarantee you, people are going to love your stuff. They might be students who are still coming to the UK. They might be people in other countries. And as you attract attention, that is a geometric effect. What I mean is it's going to grow, it's going to continue. Juhi, I hear you, right? My work's not good enough. I'm not good enough. What if it's no good? Do you know what? Alexander McQueen had to start somewhere. Calvin Klein had to start somewhere. Anna Wintour had to start somewhere. If you went and took, you can go and take Anna Wintour's masterclass. You do have to pay for that, but she shares actually. So she is the head of creative for Condé Nast. She, of course, is probably one of the most famous figures in fashion. And Anna Wintour shared that when she first started out, she made a ton of mistakes. I don't want you to think about failure. I don't want you to think about what if it's not good enough. I want you to think about that's another lesson. Feedback, thank you so much. Failure is feedback. Failure is not failure. It doesn't exist. Yeah. It was Thomas Edison who said, I've tried 10,000, I've not failed. I've tried 10,000 times to find the way that it works. And how are you going to improve if you're not getting feedback on all these wonderful creations? Because you don't know, people could love what you're doing. I mean, what would have happened if Vincent van Gogh had painted all his paintings and left them in the attic? He only sold 3 paintings while he's alive, by the way. Yeah? So going back to connection, I want you to think about influencers and I want you to think about teams. There are people there are people, brands, teams that you love. You're like, oh my God, I'd love to work with these people. Connect with them. Connect with them on socials. If I'm seeing your name on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, I'm like, this girl, this guy, this this person is everywhere. Who are they? And then I'm looking at your work and I'm thinking, wow, they're producing some really cool content. They're getting some attention. Why is social media so good for you guys? Because your medium is so visual. You are literally made for Instagram. All that stuff that you're like, oh, look, I've been here and look at this delicious food. Your stuff is made for Instagram. Connect with influencers. Send 100 direct messages on Instagram. Send messages to teams. Connect, follow different companies on LinkedIn. You could literally sit there, if you wanted to, you could sit there right now, and I want you to think about a list, throw it up in a message. What is one person, one brand, one company, if you messaged them and they sent you a message back, it would just send you into freaking meltdown, right? You're like, oh my God, Burberry sent me a message. They retweeted what I said. Is there, what's that company that you love, that you'd love to work for? Connect with them right now. Go and find out where they're at. Everybody is looking for attention. That's how brands are made. You are creating a personal brand. That is networking. Networking is creating a personal brand for yourself. You're like, listen, I'm Brand Mike. I'm selling my brand right now. Why? Because I'm communicating with you and I'm seeking to get your attention. How am I doing that? Through value. Yeah? So connect with them. Think about that. If there's any company right now, one person, oh my God, I can't believe that person sent me back a message. Yeah? So what about step 3? Okay, so we're connected, we're producing content, and if you're like, how much content should I produce? As much as you want. So right now, across all of our media platforms, we produce 4 to 6 pieces of content a day. Yeah, and I'll give you a hint. Right now, not a lot of people are paying attention to us, but I know that they will because I'm investing in the Job Ready English brand. Me being here is investing in our brand. And the way that I do that is I'm not concerned if I get stuff wrong or if you don't like me. I want to start conversations. So what I mean by this is connect with people and start conversations. Try and get to know them. Yeah. What are you working on? What's your opinion? So you're probably super locked in to the latest trends, to the latest news, the latest things that are going on. Ask people's opinions. Why don't you have an opinion? Why don't you start a blog where you're talking about the latest fashion trends, when you're giving your spin on it? What if you designed something which was representative of the latest fashion trend? I mean, look, right now, if I was a fashion design student, I'd be mocking up funny PPE equipment. I'd be mocking up face masks. I'd be mocking up stuff that I think is really useful and is funny, stuff that's shareable. Say, oh, what do you think about this? Because that's what's hot right now. You guys are in the greatest position because you're really in the epicenter of news, of fashion, of trends, of industry. Now, one thing I want you to remember about when you say, hey, what's going on? Don't take. So the first conversation, the second, the third conversation, do not ask for a job. Don't ask for free stuff because you're really unlikely. Hey, Tahina, can I borrow £5? No, you can't. Go away. Like, why you are? I don't even know you. Give them something that's valuable. Start a conversation. Talk about stuff that they're interested in. Get to know them. Ask them what they're up to. What are the projects that they're excited about? You're forming connections. You're forming a bond. You're developing a relationship and you're communicating information. Up to right now, you haven't asked for anything. All you've done is give. You haven't taken anything. Why is that? Because once we've had a chat, once we've formed that information, then we can help. So right now, everybody is looking for a job. It's not just the London College of Fashion. It's not just University of Arts London. Everybody is looking for a job, whether you're from the UK, you're from the EU, you're from the non-EU. Yeah. So why don't you see how you can help people? Because what do those companies want? They want three things. They want sales, they want ideas, and they want attention. So help them. Help them to do stuff. Now you might look at that and you think, what do you mean free is good? Why should I give away my stuff for free? Why not? I'm giving this away for free because it's part of what I believe in. Because I believe if I help people, it will come back to me. And I think that's such an important idea in networking. It's so twisted when we think if all we do is take, people are going to give to us. They're not going to give us anything. They're just going to think this is another drain on my time and on my resources. You could be designing stuff. So I just said about the face masks, the PPE. There was so many different things that you could be throwing up there. I mean, I would design like a full body poncho, right? Like, what about a full-on hazmat suit with a fashion design? I mean, I can think of 10 ideas of fun things to design. You could probably, I mean, you guys are whiz kids. You guys could probably draw that up, like sketch something out in like an hour. You're posting that on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You're tagging in influencers. You're tagging in fashion brands. What could happen? I don't know. But you know what? You're going to be getting more attention than if you're sitting at home just wondering, asking for a job, just trying to get like, give me a job, give me a job. I mean, look, imagine if someone's always asking you like, can you help me? Can you help me? After a while, it gets tiring, right? You see me calling you, Tahina sees me calling her, and she's like, I'm not picking up this call, denied, because I'm the guy who wants to take. When I'm the guy who wants to give, people pick up my call. People want to interact with me. Yeah. So think about all the stuff that you could be doing. You could be doing design mock-ups. You could be designing really cool quotes on a backdrop with your fashion design. You could be creating so many, because you guys are the masters at visuals, right? So create some masterful visual images. And I can think of loads of tools that you can use for free or for very cheap. I mean, look, I can't use Adobe Suite. There are some tools that I use, you know, that we use for the business. Happy to talk about that in Q&A if you're like, easy for you to say, Mike, but where do I find these tools? How do I generate this content? How am I going to do that? Look, stay until the end. Ask me the questions. Post them up in the chat. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's figure out the architecture of how we're going to build your personal brand, how you're going to attract companies, how you're going to master this networking. So those are the 4 steps that we need to go through, because when you're helping people, do you know what? I'm going to give you a job. When the job comes up, who's the first person I'm going to look to? If Yantong's been helping me for the last month, she's been sending me cool content. She's been saying, have you been looking at this? She's been designing stuff for me. She's been designing things that have got attention, that have got sales, that have got ideas. All of a sudden, I've got a job. I've got more sales. There's just a position that's opened up for a stylist or for a digital marketer. Who do you think I'm going to come to first? The person who's just asked, like, can I have a job? Can I have a job? Or the person who's proven they can generate sales, ideas, and attention. Yeah. Because in this marketplace, which is so loud and so many people are asking, I'm more likely to give to the person who's giving. They're going to be my first port of call. So guys, I want you to think about that. There was so much stuff that we covered there. This is being recorded and we can review and refresh. when we get through the Q&A. But I'm going to push on. So I want to talk to you about 3 really cool tools. Just throwing this out there. The first one, we have no affiliation, no link to. All of these tools are free, by the way. So first of all is JobScan. JobScan is awesome, right? So a lot of problems that you may be having is like, how can I match my CV to my job description? You're like, fashion stylist, da-da-da-da-da. So what happens is a lot of CVs now are screened using what's called an application tracking system. What that means is they track for certain keywords. When those keywords are matched to a certain density, then it's passed through to humans, right? So you need to make your way through the ATS. At last count, 97% of Fortune 500 companies use application tracking systems. So if you're like, it'd be fine. What JobScan does is that you can put in your CV, you can put it paste in the job description, and it will tell you how good it's matched, right? So every time you apply for a job, copy and paste the job description, put in your CV, and it will automatically match, and it's free. I think there's a certain cutoff point, but you can go and use that now. So that's jobscan.co, nothing to do with us, just a really cool tool that I like. And Job Ready English believes in helping international students succeed, so we'll always push the best tools. A next tool, so it's a personal plug from us. It's a brand new app that's just out right now. It's a web application. If you're on WeChat right now, you can scan this QR code to go and look at the website. It's called sponsortier2.com. Now, if you want to find a company that sponsors, at the minute, you need to use a UKVI database. I don't know if you've seen this. It is a fashion design nightmare. It is a 2,000 plus page, horrible PDF with 31,000 companies. It's not searchable, it's not sortable, and I can't find the website. Go and use sponsortier2.com. It's completely free. We just released this about 2 weeks ago. It's getting really good traction, good user. You can search companies for free, and you can sign up for free twice weekly updates for companies that are added to the tier 2 and tier 5 sponsorship list. What does that mean? You find out before anybody else when a new fashion company is added, when a new creative media company is added, when a new marketing company is added. Because the way that we work with our clients is we give them the best and most recent opportunities. You don't want to apply for a job that was advertised 3 months ago. That's useless, right? The third tool, of course, I'm gonna plug us. So please come down, check us out, JobreadyEnglishcom. There's loads of free resources on there. You've got a link back through to the tier 2 sponsortier2.com page. We're also offering some free courses. So right now I've got over 80 plus videos. I've got the complete English interview course. So that's a complete course, 70 plus lessons. It's been taken by over 3,500 students on Udemy. It's free. Don't have to pay anything. And the second course that's up there is a free course for writing cover letters. It's something that our clients really struggled with. It's got a free cheat sheet, short videos, and also we're going to be releasing new courses there every month. So please come and sign up to the newsletter, sign up to our mailing list, because if you liked this presentation, if you liked what we do this all the time. So this isn't like a once in a while thing. We're doing this all the time. We're always trying to deliver value to students. Please come check us out, JobreadyEnglish.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mike. That's amazing. So we'll open the floor to any questions from students. You want to just